Have you ever found yourself driving down a lonely road, with only the moonlight casting shadows around you? Tonight, we embark on a journey through 6 of the most chilling true road trip horror stories. Tales that will make you question what lurks in the darkness beyond the headlights. It was a crisp autumn evening when Sarah and Emily set out on a spontaneous road trip across the state. The two friends were eager for adventure, their laughter filling the car as they cruised down the empty highway. But as darkness descended, their surroundings grew more desolate. Around midnight, just as fatigue began to set in, they spotted a figure on the roadside. A hitchhiker, thumb extended, seemingly stranded in the middle of nowhere. Against their better judgment, they decided to offer a ride to the mysterious traveler. The hitchhiker was silent, his presence unsettling. Sarah stole glances at him through the rearview mirror, but his features remained hidden in the darkness. Emily tried to engage him in conversation, but his responses were terse and cryptic. A few miles later, the hitchhiker requested to be dropped off at an abandoned gas station that loomed like a specter in the night. Relieved to part ways with their eerie passenger, Sarah and Emily watched as he disappeared into the shadows, leaving behind an unsettling feeling. It wasn't until they arrived home that they discovered something chilling left behind on the back seat, a weathered diary, its pages filled with disturbing sketches and ominous writings. The final entry sent shivers down their spines. "I will find you again." Despite their fear, Sarah and Emily couldn't shake the sense of being watched in the days that followed. They never saw the hitchhiker again, but the memory of that fateful night haunted their dreams, a reminder of the dangers lurking on the open road. Mark and Lisa were on a cross-country journey, their spirits high as they embraced the freedom of the open road. As the sun dipped below the horizon, they found themselves in need of fuel. A weathered sign pointed them towards an old gas station, its presence a relief in the desolate landscape. The station appeared abandoned, its windows covered in dust and cobwebs. Mark hesitated before entering the dimly lit store, while Lisa remained in the car, her eyes scanning the empty forecourt. Inside, the air was heavy with the scent of decay, shelves lined with expired goods and faded advertisements. Mark called out, but his voice echoed unanswered through the silent aisles. Just as he was about to give up, he heard a faint noise coming from the back room, a soft, dragging sound. Pushing open the door, Mark's heart skipped a beat. There, bound to a chair, was a figure he recognized as the missing gas station attendant, an emaciated specter with sunken eyes and a haunted gaze. Lisa's scream pierced the stillness as she rushed into the store, her eyes widening in horror at the sight before her. Without a moment's hesitation, Mark untied the frail figure, whose words were faint but filled with urgency, a warning of imminent danger. They sped away from the forsaken station, the haunting image of the spectral attendant etched into their memories. When they finally reached civilization, they reported the incident to local authorities, only to discover that the gas station had been abandoned for years, its history shrouded in mystery and tragedy. David was a seasoned trucker, accustomed to the solitude of long hauls and the rhythm of the open road. One moonlit night, he found himself navigating a remote stretch of highway, the dense woods casting eerie shadows across the asphalt. Behind him, David noticed a pair of headlights closing in fast, their glare intensifying with each passing mile. Assuming it was another late-night driver in a hurry, He signaled for the vehicle to overtake him, but to no avail. The truck remained uncomfortably close, almost tailgating his rig. Growing frustrated and concerned for his safety, David slowed down and pulled onto the shoulder, intending to confront the aggressive driver. But as he climbed down from his cab and approached the phantom truck, a chill ran down his spine. The headlights abruptly vanished into thin air, leaving behind an eerie silence. Shaken but determined to continue his journey, David climbed back into his truck and resumed his route. Yet, it wasn't long before the phantom truck reappeared in his rearview mirror, its headlights blazing with an otherworldly intensity. With a sudden jolt, David's truck veered off the road and careened into a ditch, the impact sending him sprawling across the cabin. Dazed and disoriented, he struggled to regain his bearings as the phantom truck vanished once more, leaving him to wonder if he had encountered a vengeful spirit or a trick of the lonely highway. Jenna and Mike had spent the weekend exploring the rugged beauty of the mountains, their hearts light with the joy of adventure and the promise of new experiences. As dusk settled over the landscape, fatigue crept into their bones, prompting them to seek respite at a nearby rest stop. The rest stop appeared tranquil at first glance, its picnic tables and restroom facilities bathed in the soft glow of twilight. Jenna stretched her legs while Mike leaned against the car, their laughter mingling with the rustling of leaves in the gentle breeze. Inside the restroom, Jenna's footsteps echoed softly against the tiled floor as she washed her hands, her thoughts drifting to the journey ahead. It was then that she noticed a message etched onto the fogged-up mirror, a single word that sent a chill down her spine: "Leave." Dismissive at first, Jenna chalked it up to a prank or her overactive imagination. Yet, as she exited the restroom and glanced towards their car, she froze. A figure stood beside it, its silhouette obscured by the gathering darkness. Her heart racing, Jenna called out to Mike, her voice tinged with urgency. The figure remained motionless, its presence unsettling as it seemed to blend seamlessly into the shadows. With a surge of adrenaline, Jenna hurried towards the car, her mind racing with questions and fear. Without looking back, Jenna slammed the car door shut and peeled out of the rest stop, the headlights piercing the darkness as they raced toward safety. It wasn't until they reached the nearest town that they dared to exhale, their minds reeling from the encounter with the mysterious figure that had vanished as quickly as it had appeared. Tom was a rideshare driver, his days spent traversing the labyrinthine streets of the city and the winding roads that wound through the countryside. On a cool autumn evening, he received a request from a remote mountain lodge, an invitation that would forever alter his perception of reality. The passengers waiting at the lodge were a young couple, their smiles warm and gratitude overflowing as they settled into the back seat. Tom exchanged pleasantries, his curiosity piqued by their reserved demeanor and the enigmatic glances they exchanged when they thought he wasn't looking. As they descended the mountain's winding paths, conversation dwindled and an eerie silence settled over the car. Tom stole glances at the rearview mirror, his brow furrowing in confusion. The back seat was empty, devoid of the passengers who had been there mere moments ago. Panic seized Tom's heart as he pulled over, his hands trembling as he searched the area for any sign of the vanished passengers. The mountain remained silent, its secrets shrouded in mist and shadow as Tom grappled with the inexplicable disappearance that defied all logical explanation. When he reported the incident to local authorities, Tom learned of a tragic accident that had claimed the lives of a young couple on that very road years ago. Some whispered of spectral hitchhikers who wandered the mountain, their ethereal forms seeking solace in the warmth of passing vehicles, a haunting reminder of lives cut short and destinies forever entwined with the winding roads they once traveled. Karen's journey had begun with hope and anticipation, her heart set on a new beginning in a distant city far from the ghosts of her past. Night had fallen by the time exhaustion compelled her to seek refuge at a roadside motel, a decision that would plunge her into a nightmare from which there seemed to be no escape. The motel was a relic of a bygone era, its corridors lined with faded wallpaper and echoes of forgotten laughter. Karen's room was a sanctuary of faded dreams and crumbling memories, its air heavy with the weight of years gone by. As Karen settled into the musty silence, she became aware of a presence, an otherworldly presence that whispered in the shadows and danced on the edge of her perception. Strange noises echoed through the walls, the sound of footsteps that belonged to no living soul. Unable to ignore the mounting dread, Karen called the front desk in a futile attempt to seek reassurance. The receptionist's voice crackled with weariness as he assured her that she was the only guest in the motel, a solitary figure in a realm where time had ceased to hold meaning. It was then that Karen saw her, a spectre cloaked in shadows and sorrow, her eyes hollow and devoid of warmth. The apparition's gaze bore into Karen's soul, a silent plea for understanding that chilled her to the core. With trembling hands and racing heart, Karen fled into the night, her footsteps echoing against the asphalt as she drove until the motel was a distant memory. When she finally reached safety, she shared her harrowing tale with those who would listen, each word a testament to the darkness that lurked within the walls of that forsaken place. These stories remind us that the road is more than just a path from one place to another. It is a realm where reality and nightmare intertwine, where the echoes of the past linger in the shadows and the line between truth and terror blurs into oblivion. Have you encountered something unexplainable on your own journey? Share your stories in the comments below. With that said, thank you for joining us on this chilling exploration of true road trip horror stories. Until next time, remember to stay vigilant and keep an eye on the road ahead. You never know what darkness may lie just beyond the headlights.